And let me also record, and then we're going to officially start here. There we go. Oh, you have to give me permission to also record.
Let's see where I can find that.
See if you can get that going. Hey everyone, if you're just joining us, we're just getting our recording organized and we're gonna roll right now. People are from everywhere who are on this call: Colorado, Toronto, Fish Lake, Indiana, Alberta, Canada. Unmuted people, please everyone mute, and we're gonna try and figure out why, even though we've said everyone must be muted.
Ooh.
Alrighty, anyway, let's get started. Ooh, thanks CFox for posting a question. But we will get to those in a minute. All right. Hi, everybody. It's Carol Tice, and I am the founder of Freelance Writers Den. I'm here with our Den moderator in chief, Angie Mansfield.
Hello, everyone.
And she's going to be helping out on tech, which we're already wrangling with, and gathering up your questions for the Q&A portion of our show. Feel free to leave questions in chat just as we talk anytime, pop them in. She will gather those up. We're hoping you're seeing a slide that says 5 secrets to land great writing jobs in 2022. And we are here for a bunch of reasons, celebrating the reopening of Freelance Writers Den, my learning and support community, to the public after 6 long months, and celebrating the 10th year anniversary of Freelance Writers Den. And we're also registering for our upcoming Pitching 101 course that is going to happen in January and February. And Angie is going to throw a couple links in chat for those two items, freelancewritersden.com and freelancewritersden.com/pitching101 for writers, I believe is the other URL. And if you are just joining and haven't done it yet, post in chat and tell us who you are, where you are, where you're at in your freelance writing journey. You're a newbie, side hustle, mid-career writer, and what is your top challenge? So that will help us know who we're talking to. And in a few minutes, we'll be taking questions about pitching, questions about Freelance Writers Den, about the Pitching 101 course, and about whatever else you need to know about freelance writing. But first, if you are new to me or to the Den, I want to tell you a little bit about like who we are and why you should take a few minutes to listen to my tips. I am a proud college dropout and 20+ year freelance writer. I've written for Forbes, Costco, many, many more. I've been a freelance writer full-time since 2005, and for more years back before my 12 years as a staff writer for 2 business pubs. Because writer exploitation makes me angry, I founded the Make a Living Writing blog, and that led to founding Freelance Writers Den. And that's kind of who I am these days. I ghostwrite books and help out in the Den. Angie?
Having a little issue with my camera here. Hopefully everybody's still hearing me at least.
Yeah, you're frozen.
Okay.
What a drag. Well, let me tell you about Angie while she irons that out. Angie has been freelancing for over a decade, starting out in Content Mills, and then she found the blog and found Freelance Writers Den and used Den resources to get out of Mills. And now she writes about logistics and supply chain and helps out in the Den. And she's going to restart her video, and we're going to hope we can see her again. And while that's happening, let me get to another slide and get to our topic for today, which is 5 secrets to land great writing jobs in 2022. You know, December is the time to me where you start thinking about how to set up the coming year, what you're going to do to make sure you earn in the coming year. And before I dive into that, I just want to say a couple of things to make sure people are in the right space to kind of receive the information. which is that I want to bust a couple of myths out there to make sure we're on a page. Contrary to popular online myth, yes, you can make a living as a freelance writer. We have many Den members who are doing that. I have coaching students making very, very nice livings. I recently heard from a writer who said he'd been writing for 5 years and he was barely earning 20K, and he didn't believe me when I said he could double it and earn 40, where in the Den, we still think of 40 as a pretty low income. We like to see people earning 68, 100 grand or more to live a good lifestyle in any developed nation. If you're doing this full time and you want to pay all your bills with writing, we just think you need to earn well, and you can. If you're doing this full time and you want to pay your bills, you can. If you're hanging out with writers who believe you kind of have to starve for your art and, oh, real pay isn't possible, you might want to join us in the Den and hang out with a better crowd. It'll really change what you think about what is possible in your career. In reality, the pandemic has created a ton of opportunity. More companies understand they can have remote workers. They're looking at freelancing out more creative tasks. And remember, like 4.4 million people quit their jobs in just one recent month. You may have heard about that and the Great Resignation, as they're calling it. That has created freelance needs galore. If they can't find anybody willing to do their full-time jobs, they need remote freelancers more than ever. So from what writers are reporting to us in the Den, it is a great time to be a freelance writer. I also want to say, if you've been doing what you've been doing in your marketing to get writing clients for months or years, and it's not getting you the pay level you want, it's time to do something else. So try to listen with an open mind when I suggest things you may not have done before and that may, initially maybe feel like they're a little out of your comfort zone. Think about giving these strategies a try because they're proven marketing methods that we see work very reliably in the Den for many, many writers. So hope these 5 tips give you concrete ideas about what's working out there. And so let's get into it. How can you connect with clients and get good paying writing jobs to set you up to earn well in 2022? I'm going to run down my 5 principles. I'm going to say I don't know how secret they really are, but they seem to be secret from many writers out there. So here we go. Secret number 1 is stop applying to online job ads for freelance writers that you see on public boards that every writer in the world can access. What you need to know is each of these is getting hundreds of responses. So your odds of success are just too low. It's just statistically a loser's game. And it's the same deal if you're sitting around bidding on jobs on Upwork or some content build dashboard. For 99% of writers, these actions just don't go anywhere, and they take up lots of your time. So they make you feel like you're doing marketing, but really they're pretty passive and ineffective. Your universe is what someone else has put out there. Like, you're limited to that. And applying to online jobs takes up a lot of your time. You may have noticed having to craft each cover letter and go through their process. So you always feel like you don't have time to do more proactive marketing. You don't have time to build your network. But those are the kind of things that get results, networking and proactive marketing. You have to get out of this like mass application race to the bottom on price. You name a price and the prospect says, well, I have a stack of 200 other people willing to work for cheaper. And you don't feel like you have any leg to stand on. I think that was actually one of the questions we already got, is like, what do I do when people want to negotiate on price? You want to be the only writer they're considering, or at worst, one of a few. So understand that you're using your marketing time the wrong way, doing an action that is famous for getting very few great results. Even looking at online job ads all the time just gives you a warped idea of what appropriate pay is. So in the Den community, you'll get a better sense of what pros earn. Just understand that online job ad world, $50 a blog post, it's like you're in the underworld of freelance writing. That is not professional rates. And that's not where you want to hang out. So secret number 2, you've got to qualify prospects. You've got to figure out who to pitch and get their contact info. For starters, they are not sketchy people on Craigslist ads with no website link, and they have like a Gmail address that they're giving you for their email. It's not just whoever reaches out to you with no, company URL or phone number or anything. And you get all excited and start begging to write for them no matter how little money they offer. They don't have enough money to pay us what we deserve, these kind of flaky people. They're just not there yet. Solopreneur coaches and startups that don't have any venture funding, that are just sort of working on a shoestring out of somebody's basement. These aren't for us. You've got to look beyond the tiny local pubs. If you're doing publications, editorial writing, and find national ones that serve a moneyed audience or have a big circulation. And you can usually grab their media guide online and find out who their audience is. Just a tip, if you're like wondering, gee, I wonder if this publication will pay, like pull their media guide and find out. So this marketing technique, this marketing principle of qualifying prospects often boggles writers because they're not niched by industry. So they don't sort of know who, they're like, who is my client? I don't even know. It could be anybody. That doesn't work very well. What we have learned in 10 years of the Den is the power of niching by industry, which makes it a lot easier to qualify prospects. You know who you're looking for. If you're baffled about who's a client for you, we have a worksheet for you to do in the Pitching 101 course that we'll tell you more about later, that will help you figure that out. If this has been a mystery to you, I don't know what my niche is, or I don't know which of my topics I know about have the most money, like we can totally help you with that. Here's a big tip, just if you've been pitching and you've been getting clients but they pay kind of crummy, I want you to add a 0. And that means if you've been pitching like 100K a year earning solopreneur coaches or something, pitch $1 million companies, add a 0 to their revenue. If you've been pitching $1 million companies and it's not getting it done, you need to move to 10 million. So in Pitching 101, we go through many different screens you can use for turning up nice free lists. I think we have 10 techniques for, if you're wondering, like, how do I find these lists of prospects? The list you want is free and available online, and we will show you how to turn up all the prospects you need. Don't buy a list from some goofy list company that has never been productive for any freelance writer and is a waste of your money. So once you know what a good prospect, company, or publication looks like for you, the next roadblock is, who at the company am I going to pitch? And we have a lot of tips about what roles work and are good people to pitch and not in Pitching 101. But the big tip is, don't agonize over it forever. Pick the likely suspect and go for it. It's not, the HR manager. It's not the editor-in-chief. Pick someone who seems like they're at a level of a responsibility where they'd work with freelance writers, not the top of the masthead, kind of down a little ways. And in Pitching 101, we teach you 10 different ways to get that person's email once you find a name. So if that has always been something that stopped you, you can do this, and it's not that hard. And there's lots of ways to skin that cat. So secret number 3 is, now that you're done looking at online job ads and you know how to qualify prospects, you're going to pitch those prospects proactively with ideas. Now, if you are sending letters of introduction or pitch letters out to magazine editors or marketing managers, and they say, hi, I'm a freelance writer. Do you need a freelance writer? If so, you should hire me. Thank you. That is not going to get a lot of good gigs. And you may laugh at that, but that's actually a very common way that writers pitch. We've seen that pitch many, many times in pitch critiques. And just understand that does not get responses. You're not showing the editor or the marketing manager any reason to interact with you. You don't seem like you've ever looked at their website, don't know their publication or company. So understand that your pitch letter is a writing audition, and you need to show them a few things in that pitch. You need that you understand the style they write in that you've looked at their site, get what they do. It takes a little practice, but one big way you show all this is with an idea. You have an idea for a blog post for them or a white paper topic or something. And the fun thing is in Pitching 101, we have templates for this. If you're like, I just don't even know how to begin constructing this, we have a starting points for you for various types of pitches. So big takeaways, stop sending generic, desperate sounding form letters asking you to get hired and learn to pitch for real. You know, imagine what life would be like if 50 to 75% of the pitches you sent out that had an idea and that did these principles got a response, and a lot of those ended up getting you a gig. That's the kind of batting average we tend to see with this approach. You study that prospect for like 2-3 minutes, you look at their website, pitch them an idea written in their style, you make that change, and being able to pitch proactively with an idea, you know, where you do the audition means you get a lot more gigs and a lot better paying gigs. That is how you connect with better clients. So secret number 4 is actually something that's very specific to where it's going on right now with that big resignation we were talking about, which is to pitch freelance writing help to the full-time job ads. So I know back in number 1, I told you not to look at online job ads. That's for freelance writers. Don't look at those. But what you can do is go on quality boards like, say, journalismjobs.com or Media Bistro for editorial, or LinkedIn's job board, where boards where they have to pay to list the ad. That's a screen that turns up a lot better clients. And you want to look for full-time job ads that if you were looking for a full-time job ad, for a full-time job, that this would be a real fit for you. It's an industry you know, it's experience, it's a type of writing you do, and you want to pitch them fill-in help while they make the hire. So this is something people who haven't been staffers don't know necessarily, but the average time frame to hiring a full-time staff writer, in my experience after 12 years as a staffer, is 6 to 12 months. It is a long, elaborate process being done by someone who has no time to do it. So it goes very, very slowly, because remember, now someone has quit and that's causing problems. Everyone's overloaded. They've got a lot to deal with. They may be taking that marketing manager, maybe doing some of that writing themselves now. They're frantic. So you step in and say, hey, do you need some help while you're making that hire? The magic of this is, obviously, right now, we know there are many full-time job openings going unfilled. So this is like shooting fish in a barrel. And the other thing is, by the time they make that hire at bigger companies that have bigger staffs, even at medium-sized companies with modest-sized staffs, by the time they finally hire that person, the next person quits. So if you're in as sort of their fill-in person, you may just keep being their fill-in person, and or the thing happens where they go, you know, maybe we don't need a full-time a staffer for this. Maybe we could just keep using this useful freelancer whose stuff is great. And it just turns into a very ongoing gig. So the pushback I get on this tip of pitching freelance to full-time is you go on and they make you go through this whole internet rigmarole process, you know, where you got to fill out their application form. Just do it. Just suck it up and do it. I know it's annoying, but this is what I did when I wanted gigs and was doing this strategy, pitching freelance to full-time. I would just wander through their whole thing. And then in the cover letter, I'd say, you know, hi, happy freelance writer, not actually looking for a full-time job, wondering if you need some fill-in work. I believe we have a script for this also in one of our boot camps. Angie, is it in Get Your First Freelance Writing Jobs? I think
so. We can try.
Yeah, we will find that a resource for you inside Freelance Writers Den. And yeah, just pitch it. I got a great buck a word gig with this strategy once back, way before the situation we have now, which is, you know, so many open positions. So let's go on to the final secret. So once you have stopped looking at online job ads, you've learned how to qualify prospects and find the right email contact and how to pitch with an idea, what you want to do is mass produce this. You want to do volume marketing. That is what it takes to level up or to launch if you're just getting started. You're looking for a big burst of marketing. It's not going to be this way forever, but like you want to do a lot. When I do my coaching programs, we do 100 pitch in a month challenges. And I know people freak out, their jaws drop. They're like, what? No, not possible. But you can do it. And you need a lot of lines in the water to make sure you catch fish. That's just the reality. It's a numbers game. So you want to stop sort of elaborately belaboring 3 pitches a month you're sending out and send many. If you can't do 100, maybe you can do 50. It'll be so much more, so much better. So what do you need to mass produce pitches that feel customized, have an idea, show you really looked at their site and get them? 2 things. You need a peer group that is also doing volume marketing. In 10 years of the den, I have experienced 0 writers who sit at home alone and commit to doing volume marketing and actually follow through. Oh, I'm sending 25 pitches a week. Does not happen. You need pitch challenges. You need accountability buddies, someone you report to, other people who are on that journey with you, who are leveling up their business. That is the dynamic in which it happens. And the other thing you need is templates, is like, give me a starting point so I can just kind of plug in my stuff. It's sort of cut and paste and I can mass produce it, which we also have in Pitching 101 for you. We have many flavors of templates for you to grab, like if you're pitching blogging, you're pitching an article, you know, the different approaches. So the real secret of this is you may just be like, oh my God, this sounds like so much work. I just want to write. I don't want to market. Well, that was totally me. When I started, I had never marketed anything to anyone. I had been a staff writer and I had kind of fallen into my early freelance jobs. But the crazy thing is you can really get hooked on the thrill of the hunt, targeting the clients you want and getting them. It's really super empowering. You know, you're no longer stuck in the passive world of living off the Upwork dashboard and whatever people posted there. And it ramps up your income a lot when you are the only writer they're looking at instead of a pile of 500 resumes. So the other thing you need to, the final thing is you need ideas. So that's kind of a third thing. So I didn't number that right. So you need a peer group doing it. You need templates. You need ideas, obviously, to pitch. And that's another big obstacle I know a lot of writers face. They're like, I don't know, I just don't have a lot of ideas. So we have a handout in Pitching 101 with 20 easy ideas to pitch businesses that are things that if you look at their website for 3 minutes, you will see one of these is an angle you can use. You can take that quick look at their website. You pop in the, oh, I see your press releases stopped 18 months ago. Do you need help writing those? Is that why? And you just keep doing this, lather, rinse, repeat. It becomes very quick and very easy. And the real magic behind volume marketing and why I want to encourage you to do it, if you take nothing else out of this, just think about doing a lot more points of marketing. The thing is, when you do 3 pitches a month, you get really emotionally attached to like each one of these and whether it's going to succeed. And, oh, when is this editor going to get back to me? They haven't responded. You know, you don't want that. You want to just keep on moving and pitching. And when you're doing 50 or 100 of them, you do. You don't get all emotionally, oh, that's my dream client. I wish they've got to hire me. No, you don't do it. And that is so much mentally healthier as a freelance writer. To just, you know, think of yourself as playing match game. You're sending all this stuff out there and the ones that are a fit for you are going to get back to you. You put all of this together and you have a recipe for being in control of what your writing career will look like next year. It doesn't matter if your local economy is still slow from COVID or whatever else comes at us. If you do these 5 steps, you'll be able to raise your rates, find good paying clients, do work you love. I actually just heard from one Den member who said she didn't want to earn more. She wanted to work fewer hours, and she has done that. She's cut like 500 hours a year out of her schedule and earns the same money by raising her rates, doing this kind of proactive marketing. So these are our 5 steps. Stop applying to online job ads, use the energy for proactive marketing instead, learn how to qualify good prospects and get the right person and their email, pitch in their style with a great idea, and consider pitching freelance work to full-time job ads you see on quality boards, and mass produce your pitches. Those are the 5 actions to take that lay the groundwork for you to earn well in 2022. And Angie is rounding up questions, and feel free to start putting them in. I think she's going to reiterate the links that you need. And while she's doing that, I wanted to actually give you a few things live. So let me pop those up. Hang on. I'm going to just go in the den and show you a few reasons. I feel like, it's hard to conceptualize all the resources that we have in the den because there's so many. And I want to just go ahead and show you some in just a sec. And just briefly, so we're doing something unusual that we don't usually do in the den, which is that you can join now for class, or you can join as a regular member. So if you just join as a $40 a month Freelance Writers Den member, you won't be participating in Pitching 101. And the secret sauce behind this class is pitching critiques. In the whole month of February, we'll be doing pitching critiques, and you can pitch as much as you want. Like, you can send us 50 pitch letters and get feedback on all of them. The basics of this class are, you're going to learn how to quickly find free lists of great prospects, figure out who your prospects are. You're going to find the right person and their email, and you're going to learn to pitch, write pitches that get you hired. These are the 2 links, and give you a chance to write those down. Angie, are there any pressing issues, questions about the den or the course while I dial in the den things I want to show folks?
I've got questions about the things you've been talking about so far. Not necessarily the den
Sure.
itself.
Why don't we do a few questions real quick while I get the things up I want. Oh, actually, I think I'm there. Hang on a sec, and I'm going to stop this share. Hey, everybody. Now we can see more people's. Cool. Let me just share my screen again. Oh, now I'm disabled. Can you re-enable me, and I'll give people a tour of the boot camps page, which I really want folks to see. So there's something magical about being in Freelance Writers Den, which is that if you sign up for Pitching 101 and you're getting those critiques and stuff, if you need other stuff, we have more for you, and you don't have to pay any more to get it. 2 months of freelance writing, Freelance Writers Den membership is included. If you take the course, then you're getting all the critiques. But what if you need other things? What if you want to just work on copywriting craft, or you need to get out of the content mills, or you're just afraid to move forward? You find yourself trapped in fear. Maybe you want to take Write Big, a fear busting boot camp experience, or learn about SEO. You can access all our materials. So I think we're the only place in the world of freelance writing that really does this, that gives you all you can need access like this. And that is the magic of the den. And those are just our focus courses that are like multi-session. Beyond there is our resource library, just 300 hours of stuff. You can access all our podcasts, all our templates and examples of contracts and pitches that got gigs, blog contracts, you name it. All our Ask an Editor calls, where you hear directly from editors on what they want out of you. And really the final thing to see is just our forums, just tens of thousands of comments over the years and questions getting answered, and past critiques we've done that you can read through and learn from. It's kind of almost like another class in itself. Boy, it's not interested in taking me to the forum. Here we go. So you can pick a topic that maybe you just have a writing craft question or something, and interact with our team, and just get that 24/7 help. This is really why I started the den, is the issue of I've got a meeting at tomorrow with a client and I don't know what to say and I don't know what to bid and I don't know what to do. Like you can hop on our forums and usually get somebody. Try and give us more than a day of notice. That'll help. But in general, someone on the team will be able to help you out and give you that real-time feedback. And of course, Inside Pitching 101, you're going to get the feedback you can't get anywhere anymore, which is someone with a lot of editorial experience, Evan Jensen, who was our longtime Make a Living Writing blog editor, has done a lot of publications editing in health, and have him say, the reason this pitch is just laying there is X, and you could fix that and then send it out. It's so hard, editors are all and marketing managers are just all completely overwhelmed these days. It's like, I feel like the kind of mentoring relationships I had when I started out where I could buttonhole editors and just say, oh, why'd you change that? What'd you like about this? That just doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. So this class gives you a chance to get that kind of pro feedback. And the class is $197. We kind of value priced it because we want people to just get in, start learning. And that includes 2 months of Den membership, just like don't tell anybody. It's like embarrassingly low priced, but we're just celebrating our 10th anniversary, giving back to the community, pricing things so that people can afford them because that's what we like to do. So I think that's about what we got, and we're up to questions. I'm so happy that we got there in half an hour. That's always my goal, is to make that happen.
All right. So going back to the discussion about applying as freelance to full-time job ads, Abu Bakar said the only problem is the high requirements. So if people are intimidated by, you need a bachelor's degree and 20 years in this field, how do they get around that?
I had 2 staff jobs that required a bachelor's degree. I don't have. So I'm the right person to ask this question. First off, when you hear these requirements, it means you are applying to mass online job ads. You are not targeting prospects. So when Angie and I pitch people, we aren't looking at an ad spec sheet of requirements. We're just identifying a company that's like, oh, okay, they make a lot of content of the kind I like in the industry I know. I'm just going to pitch them and see what they say. And I've got an idea for their blog, I'm just going to pitch it to them. So we never see those credential requirements. And that's the sweet spot you want to be in. But the reality is, even if you are like pitching freelance to full-time and it says, oh, you need a master's degree in something, like they're just guessing at what they need. They're trying to find ways to cut the pack and find the right person. And what they don't know is, people like me who have knowledge from the school of life are often more qualified. If you've ever edited the work of people with master's degrees, which I have, it may not be as conversational and breezy and at a 9th grade reading level as they might like if you've spent too much time in academia. And that's something I've found over the years, is that there can be actually an advantage to not having the credential. Anyway, thanks. That's like a favorite question of mine, you can tell.
Yeah, neither one of us have a college degree. So
yeah, I like to say I'm an ND. That's no degree.
Juana said, is Media Bistro a good place to apply? I get alerts on their openings, but I wonder if I'm wasting my time.
Well, Media Bistro is a better quality board, but once again, if it's a public board that people can see they're getting 300 resumes. What I found back in the day when I did apply to online job ads for writers, this would be like a good 15 years ago, at least, I would only apply to ones that were so me. Like, if you can't let go of this strategy yet, like I just told you to, really skip all the general ones that like you can write on any topic you want. Those are all scams. There's no actual business model where you can do that. Every real company is like, we need you to write about, like Angie's industry, logistics and supply chain issues. We need you to write about, fine tech software. They need you to write about something specific in the real world, not anything you want. That always pays $5. So be really selective. Media Bistro has been a good board. It has good editorial openings. I I haven't been on there in a while. In general, you just want the looking at online job ads to become a small part of your life, not your whole form of marketing. That's my big tip.
Karen, going back to the the applying to full-time jobs, you had talked about sometimes that can turn into a long-term arrangement. She said, what are the odds of that though? Is it a cheaper option over hiring a full-timer?
Oh, it is so much cheaper for them to work with us than to hire a full timer. Are you kidding? They're not paying workman's comp, benefits, paid sick and vacation, a health care plan, a pension plan, a 401k. They save so much money with us. And you can charge pretty decent rates because they are saving that. And often what happens is if they had a like 60K staffer that they're replacing, and 40K of the year is left, they're taking that 40K and just sticking it on the freelance line, like that simple. So there's a bucket of money sitting there that they can now spend for freelance. So it's not a time to cheap out at all. They're desperate and they are used to paying a lot with all the benefits wrapped in. So
this is another topic I know you love. See, Fox said when you're going through the online process to apply to full-time ads and you're pitching freelance, do you upload a resume?
If they make me, sometimes the process like will not continue unless you put up a resume. If I do put one up, it may just say something like, please see my full resume is available on X link of my writer website, or look at my LinkedIn profile. I'd really like to trick them into seeing it presented the way I'd like it presented, not in their stupid, boring resume format. The reality is that companies that ask for resumes, I don't know, most of us just avoid them who've been doing this a long time because they don't care about quality. People who care about quality and are the people who pay well want to look at our samples and decide whether to hire us. They know that that's what they need to do, is look at our writing, not look at a list of places we've been. That's just not useful. I finally had to put one together for one like book audition or something, but it goes years and years in between me sending a resume to anyone.
Yeah, I've been freelancing for a little over 10 years now, and I don't think I've ever sent a resume to a freelance client. So
win.
Yeah,
they're just the wrong kind of clients.
Yeah, I think they have different expectations.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to that qualifying your prospects. If they're asking that, they're asking the wrong question, and you have to think, why are they doing that? Because they don't care about the quality of content. They're just like, oh, okay, you worked at Business Insider once. Okay, you're hired. Just like crank out some stuff for me, $50 a post, and that no one will read, that's made for robots with SEO stuffed in. Like this is not how you earn a living. So.
Or they understand good content, but they have absolutely no understanding of how the freelance relationship works.
Yeah, and you don't want to have to be the one who trains them.
No.
You don't want to, when you hear like, we've never worked with freelancers before, so what do you charge? Know that you're facing a big ramp, like to have to train them. You want people who are already trained. They already know how to manage this process.
Double your rates if you get that question, because you're going to earn every penny of that just in the education of the client.
Yeah, we call this the PITA fee, the pain in the ass client issue. You got to charge more because they're going to be difficult.
Wanna ask, what about aiming for retainer clients? Is this method ideal for pitching retainers?
Well, my experience of retainers is that they don't ordinarily happen off the bat. You don't write someone and say, hi, total stranger, would you lock me into a $1,500 a month monthly contract? Here's my retainer. Thank you. It doesn't tend to happen that way because it's just too much money on the line. What tends to happen is, I know people who do that, who will only accept retainer gigs, and they just say that in their first client meetings. It's like, I am looking for retainer contracts. So if you have ongoing work, that you're willing to commit to at least 6 months of, or a year, let me know. That'll send a lot of people away who don't know they are retainer clients yet. What I like to do is do a first project to get to know you, see if we all like each other, we're happy, it's a happy marriage, you know, before I say, gee, let's commit to doing this. Because if I lock in some 6-month retainer and it's torture, it turns out they're awful, scope creep is occurring, you know, they're abusive, whatever. Now I'm kind of stuck in this contract for months and months that I might really rather get out of. So I prefer to do $1,000, $2,000 worth of initial package, you know, and then move into at discussing a retainer. Like maybe I'll give them a tiny discount, like tiny, you know, hey, you know, if you committed to 11 more months of what we just did, you know, it could be at a slightly little less rate. You know, you willing to sign on to that? But now they've fallen in love with me. See, now I've done a project and they were like, oh, wow, this was amazing. Didn't need any edits. You know, we could just put that in and life was so easy. I love it. Wow, didn't know love could be like this, you know, then you close in on the retainer. So that's how I roll with it.
Marissa said, how do you pitch if you're a beginner with few writing samples or experience to put on your resume?
Great question. You pitch about what you know. You pitch where this is back to the pitching by niche and industry. And so if you've been a nurse, you know, you're going to pitch some health company or health publication, and your cred is I'm a former nurse. And you come up with a great idea. Remember that ideas are the coin of the realm, not credentials or experience. Or if you have an idea they have to run, that they're like, oh yeah, we need that information. Our readers need that. Our audience would love knowing about that. They're going to assign you. We know people have been assigned with no clips. Remember, every writer writing today once had no clips. So that means you can do it too. You can break in. There's somebody willing to take a chance on you somewhere on the strength of your idea and your background knowledge. Just that's how everybody does it. One day somebody goes, oh, could you write something for me? You know, and you can make that happen with your pitches.
Juana had some good advice for that too, which is to offer to write just a couple of blog posts or short articles to people in your niche for free in exchange for the clip and a testimonial.
Yeah, we're big fans of doing very precisely targeted pro bono work to give you a sample you could show so that you have that a little bit of relevant. If you think, oh, I'm going to, you know, blog for big health platforms. Yeah, you go get some doctor's office to let you write a couple of blog posts. And that's way better than just self-creating a made-up sample, because then you can get a testimonial and get referrals from that pro bono client. And they're sworn to secrecy. We teach you a whole system about how to do this in the den.
Yeah.
Have a whole pitch script of how you pitch pro bono to make sure it's contained. It doesn't go out of control. You're doing tons of free stuff. You want to do it in a very precise way.
Michelle said, how do you manage these strategies with a full-time job? I work full-time. I want to get out of working on a side freelance writing gig to make it a potential full-time gig.
It's challenging, but it can be done. As a matter of fact, Evan Jensen, our editor, who is going to be doing the pitch critiques in Pitching 101, that is what he did. He had a full-time editorial job and he freelanced on the side of it until he built the business big enough to quit. And then he went full-time, and now, of course, he earns way more than he did at the day job. But sacrifices will have to be made. Just speaking as someone who did essentially work 2 jobs because I freelanced full-time and built the blog and Freelance Writers Den as a side hustle, something's got to go. You know, it might be some family time. It might be, you know, I personally didn't watch a TV show or go to a dinner party or see a play for 2.5 years. That was how I did it. Some people turn to a spouse and go like, honey, what about watching the kids all day Sunday while I work on my freelance writing thing? Because that's going to really, you know, get me out of the job and allow us to live a great lifestyle. So all of that. You have to just, I know people who get up early, do it late at night. You figure out what your block of time is. Some people write for 2 hours before they go to work, and that's how they do it. So a lot of people have just joined us. So good. We do have our link slide up. If you're just joining, the Freelance Writers Den is open. And there are two ways you can join us at freelancewritersden.com as a regular member, regular monthly member, no obligation, leave anytime, or you can join us for Pitching 101, get like 6 weeks of pitch critiques in January and February, learn all about how to qualify prospects, find their email, find the right contact person, and write them a pitch that gets you hired. And that includes 2 months of Den membership for a crazily 10th anniversary special priced $197. And the links are hopefully on your screen. Angie, I gather your camera died, yeah?
Yes, it's completely done.
That's nice of it. Yeah,
I got it to come back up and it froze exact in the same.
Yeah, I saw. Anyway, Angie is here, I promise. Behind that wonderful Make a Living Writing logo is a beautiful, beautiful Den moderator in chief who will make sure you have a Den docent when you join the Den and that you're getting what you need. And she and Jen on the help desk are our people. And they make sure Den members are being fully served. All right, on to more questions.
This one will be right up your alley. Elisa said, if your goal is to ghostwrite books, how do these tips apply?
Ghostwriting books is kind of a different animal, unless you want to do it for like, $2,000 a book or something. In which case, my advice would be totally different. But this is what I do now. It's in general highly relationship oriented. It's all about making your network bigger, 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 all the people who know that you want to ghost a book. But tell us where you're at in your career phase, because if you're new to freelance writing and you think ghostwriting books is going to be what you're doing, let me say that that's unlikely. It's kind of a very mature stage career point. You've written long form articles, you've written long form white papers, you have a lot of long form samples, you've done big projects, and you have some kind of connection to a money niche. In my case, I write a lot about business finance and entrepreneurship and leadership. I'll say something crazy about ghostwriting books, which is if you have book titles, you can join Reedsy, which is something I am on and which has actually been a source of leads, which has kind of blown me away because in general, all these online platforms that aggregate writers together are terrible. But Reedsy only lets them ask like 3 writers at a time if they want to work on their project. It's pretty exclusive. It's hard to get in. Let me just put in, I missed the Den, so join us again, Juana. We're open. I was seeing all kind of groovy Den testimonials from members also. Hang on, let me put in the reedsy.com. Whoops, let me make sure I spell it right because it's not how you think. All right. Yeah, Dave Chappelle has a good book ghostwriting thing here, but yeah, there's a lot of networking and pitching. And Juana says, if anyone's on the fence about joining the Den, get off and sign up. You get more than your money's worth. Well, I would advise to sign up with the class link, get your 2 months of Den membership included, and you'll roll into regular monthly membership if you want, or you'll quit if you want. It's totally up to you. And get the pitch critiques, because that is just gold. Just not a lot of chances to get that. All right, I see questions are pouring in, so back to you with the questions.
Trudy said, I'm a fiction writer, but I would like to try freelance writing. How do I find my niche? We have a whole module about that in our Get Your First Freelance Writing Jobs. Oops.
Yeah, we actually have an exercise we take you through where we assess everything in your background, your work history, your personal life, your passions and interests, and we figure out where they intersect with money in the marketplace. And having written fiction, means you can tell a story. And the good news is that that is highly applicable to, doing journalism, doing editorial writing, reporting a story, and to business storytelling, which is so huge these days. You may have noticed that people no longer love being hard selly-selled, and that they love stories, and that there is a lot of that going on. So highly transferable skill. Yeah, you just have to find the right niche. We can totally help you out with that in the Den.
Tina said, is this pitching for article writing or freelance writing clients or both? And hopefully from the context of the discussion we've had, you've got that one answered. But
Yeah, but we totally work with both. I think we're one of the few places online that do. I feel like everyone else is only like B2B, be a B2B copywriter. You know, we have worked with many, many displaced journalists, helped them get into business writing or helped them find better paying publications work to do. And we have resources on that in the den as well. Would love to help you with that.
Abu Bakar, I hope I'm saying that right. I apologize if not, said, how do you pitch when you're under 18 and clients don't want that?
Well, once again, it's a prospect identification problem because there are a lot of youth brands out there and they are dying to have young writers who are like their customer use their product. We used to have a course about stalking youth brands on social media, on Instagram and stuff, and then pitching them to get gigs, writing apps for them. There is stuff, you know, as someone who's been raised in the digital age that like old folks like me don't get. So there is clients that out there that want that. Just have to, once again, it's all about prospect identification. Where do you fit in the marketplace? Who are the people with money who want you? That's what we're going to get to in Pitching 101.
Kristen said, some advice I've been given from mentors is that I should have a blog on my website and an active social media presence. But how necessary do you think it really is? And how do you think of things to write consistently?
Those are a lot of questions. Let's break it down. So a blog on your writer website these days, unless it's an amazing blog that has traffic and comments and social shares happening, I don't think it's the best way. I would advise you to guest post on popular sites and link back to your own site as a way of driving traffic and getting it, you know, up in search, getting the backlinks from more popular sites. Just having, Angie and I have reviewed 100 bazillion writer websites that have a blog on them. It is a blog named Blog. It doesn't know what its topic is. It is a hot mess and it is not helping you get clients. So it has to kind of be the right blog, one that's successful and busy and getting comments and showing that engagement, showing you know how to write a headline that gets it traffic. That's the demonstration project you want. And it may be a lot easier to get that by posting on, you know, the HubSpot blog or something, whatever in your niche would be the equivalent of that, and linking back to your site. And I know some very high earning writers who that they do not have their own blog. That is what they do. Social media, I want to say it depends on what kind of client circles you're circulating in. And I mean, like I'm ghosting a book right now for a couple of Harvard Business Review consultants, and I don't think my social media presence is of any concern or interest to them. If it's the kind of brands that are heavy into social media, it is going to matter. When I was writing a Forbes channel, it was very helpful that I had a big Twitter audience. They make a lot of bank on there, and I was able to draw a lot of traffic from there. So it kind of depends on what you're doing. But the big thing I'd say about social media is don't go sign up for 8 kinds of social media. Like if you aren't doing any now, pick a channel. We like LinkedIn the best, and build it up, and then maybe think about another one, but think about where the audience is that you would be looking to connect with. Where are your clients doing social media? That was kind of a long, involved answer. Sorry, that was complicated. We have like 6 more minutes and then we're going to wrap. But if you leave us an email address with your question, I think we can follow up on email as well if you're putting in final Jeopardy questions here.
Diane said, I get to the quote phase and then prospects ghost. I think I'm quoting too high, but they don't come back to negotiate. Is this expected? Should I just lower my rates?
Hell no. That is not our answer to that question. No, this is, once again, it's the prospect identification question. You have you're negotiating with not value clients, but what's the other one, Angie? I'm having a blank. their volume, they're like quantity clients. They're like commissioning content by the yard, you're looking for value and they don't care how good the posts are. They just need a lot of content stuffed somewhere. They're volume clients. We are looking for quality clients, value clients who are like, wow, I've figured out that content actually makes me money very directly. And so I need great content because that'll make me more money and I need to pay well for it. So it'll be great because so I get great people. So it's probably a prospect identification question. We rarely meet anyone who's bidding too high. Like I think it's happened maybe twice in the 10-year history of the Den, like 14,000 members coming through the doors. We ordinarily find people are bidding way too low because they're not aware of professional rates.
Juana said, is there anything in the Den about pitching for podcast script writing? Do you think this is a niche that would be open to cold pitches?
Sure. We don't call what we do cold pitches. And I got that on LinkedIn the other day too. Like, do you have scripts for cold pitches? When you pitch them after looking at their site for 2 minutes with an idea, it's not a cold pitch. It's a warm pitch. It's I see you, I get you, I understand you. Here's an idea I think will help you. That's not a cold pitch in my world. That's a cold pitch is that, hi, do you need a writer? I'm a writer, call me. I don't know you, you don't know me. That's a cold pitch. And it tends to be stone cold dead. Yeah, it's dead on arrival. But so there was more to this question. What else was in? I feel like there was more in here. No, did we get it?
There were some follow-up comments, people answering her, but I didn't see any more to her question.
Okay, moving on. No one has any questions about the Den or about Pitching 101?
I've got some questions about what we have in the Den. Someone asked about video script writing. We do.
Oh, right. She just asked about podcasts. We do have one about script writing, and that's applicable to podcasts as well as to other types of script writing. Video sales letter writing, for instance, which is a big money niche. What we don't cover in the Den is fiction. If anyone's worrying about that, like you're writing a screenplay, a poem, your short story, we do not go there. That's because there's no money in it. We're all about helping people make reliable livings with their writing, and that is all on the nonfiction side. So that answers.
C, I'm not sure what your name is, but C said, can this course be done asynchronously? I can't say that word today. But
yeah, no, you did.
Can you?
Absolutely. Yeah, great question.
Yeah. Can it be started after the first of the year?
It is starting after the first of the year. It is not starting now. It is starting January 3 and running through the end of February. So January and February, we're all about teaching you pitching. But when you join now, it gives you a chance to get up to speed in the Den. You could look around, find an accountability buddy, which would be awesome and highly predictive of your success in the class and in the Den in general. And I think we have some kickoff activities to just kind of get you started thinking about niches and prospects and where you're going to qualify people. So you can do a little now, or you can just come in January. And yes, everything we do, the trainings are pre-recorded. They drop, we do a live Q&A. If you can't make it to that, you can send us questions ahead of time, listen to the answer later. We're totally flexible. We know people are in day jobs. We want to make it so you can do it, no matter what else is going on in your life. Asfar
said, is it a good idea to write a free sample for a client? I was recently asked to write one from applytojob.com. And the reason I wanted to bring this one up, even though we discussed writing pro bono work, is that if someone asks you for a free sample, that's usually a scam. They are wanting content for free. They're going to ask you for your free one and say, we're not hiring you. And then they're going to go ask 10 other writers for a free sample.
And like they're going to ghost you, and they're not going to give you a referral testimony.
Yeah.
You want to do pro bono work for the people you target, who ideally are people who might hire you on a retainer if they love you, are as close to what your client looks like as possible. So I know we're at the top. Why don't we try and do 5 more minutes? I feel like there's still more questions.
There are 73 more messages I haven't gotten to. So
Oh my God.
if
Okay, well,
yeah,
scan through, take some of the greatest hits here. And feel free to email us at help@freelancewritersden.com if we don't hit your question live
yeah.
as well.
Kimberly said, how do we identify the companies that pay very well?
We lay this all out in detail. We give you, I think, 9-10 different ways to
Mhm.
qualify prospects easily and quickly. The thing where you don't have to do a lot of research and go look up their revenue, where you just grab a list that already exists on the internet and it's your prospect list. And those people are, by definition of appearing on that list, are pre-qualified. So that's the technique that we teach you.
Yeah.
They're pre-qualified because they're on a list of fast-growing companies or the biggest companies, or they're on a list of companies that got venture capital money, which we love because then we know they have money. Yeah. And we have students who only pitch companies that just got VC money. So that's, but we lay out all these techniques in detail, links, screen shares, the works in Pitching 101.
Kemi said, I live outside the US and I see postings that are US based only. How do I get around that? And how does it work if you don't live in the US, but you want to write for global clients?
The thing is, this is a global business and it does not matter where you are. If you are seeing online job ads that say you have to be based in the US, you have that secret number one problem where you're applying to online job ads. That's not how those of us who earn well get clients. When you directly pitch people, they're not going to respond with like, oh, interesting pitch. What country are you in? Anyway, they don't care. If you show them that you get them and you could write well for them, they're like, awesome, let's take a meeting. It just doesn't become an issue. I have coaching students based in Africa, India, Cambodia, everywhere in the world. And you follow this program, identify the industries write pitches that convert, and it's just a non-issue. So I hope that answers.
Lisa said, a lot of places ask for writers who can do SEO content. Can you help us figure that out?
Well, we have a course on SEO writing in the Den, so we can. But once again, you're reading something off an online job ad. And they're saying, we want writers. First, when they say we're hiring lots of writers, first of all, there's no good business model that hires lots of writers. They're always they're hiring one writer at functional businesses. So these are all red flags and reasons to not spend your time trolling online job ads because, they're not a good neighborhood. They're full of low-paying clients with a lot of crazy requirements that don't even matter.
Yeah.
And they don't pay well.
Joy said, I get hiring managers who want to know my per word charges. I tell them 50 cents a word. Is that considered reasonable for a freelance writer?
It depends would be the short answer. It depends on what we're talking about. I've certainly been paid more than that. When I ghost books, it's less. The per word rate on long form, it tends to not be that high, but the hourly rate works out well. And the hourly rate is what matters. And we don't like to quote by the word, we like to quote by the project. We don't like to get it. What do you want to sit and count words? And then if it's 5 words longer, you're going to redo your invoice. No. And we're not clerks, like getting paid by the tippy tappy, we're getting paid to think is really what we do. And then we write down the thoughts, and that's worth a lot. So we tend to like to say, blog posts in this range are $500 and in this range, they're 1,000 and that kind of thing. Or, case studies are $1,200 and not, it's about the project, because otherwise you're getting into the well, what if they decide they want it to be half as many words after you wrote it? Now you're getting paid half as much. You just don't want to go here.
Bianca said, what if the client doesn't want to sign your contract because they already have their own? What do you suggest?
I'm happy to work with their contract. I'm not going to lose a gig off administrivia issues personally.
Just make sure you read it over and there aren't any completely
Yeah.
onerous clauses.
Yeah, there might be clauses in it that I want to push back on, but we can use theirs as their starting point. Sure.
Um, Kristen said, I've been trying to pitch to a lot of entertainment websites looking for movie and TV reviewers and writers, and my creds are 10 plus years of being a fandom nerd.
So we don't have good news for you on this because Yelp has really killed making money from reviewing anything, books, plays, restaurants, uh, games, movies. Uh, this is a hobby thing. It's just not a thing with money. I wish it was because I have a son who plays legacy console games competitively, and I'd love for him to be able to monetize that, but it's not happening. So.
And Christina said, does the Den have editors we can reach out to review articles before submitting? For instance, pay for a review or editorial review?
We haven't had a thing where you pay. We have a peer review forum, and we do have a lot of editor members and just other writers who'll give you feedback. So you can get that. I think if you are writing on assignment, you should really have your own editor review it more than us. But people tend to put up drafts that they're thinking of pitching around or that is something for their site.
Catherine said, how's the 2019 pitch clinic going to be different than this upcoming course? I really love doing a journalistic approach to writing articles and interviewing people. Been loving the 2019 course, but what will be new in the upcoming one? And this is a confusion because they are two different courses.
Yeah, totally different class. Pitching 101 is very tightly focused with a lot of stuff on prospect identification and getting the right person and their email address. And none of that, as I recall, is in Pitch Clinic. That's just how to write a pitch. And we look at a couple of your pitches. And this would be a chance to get a lot of pitches reviewed and to really work on building your marketing side skills of identifying prospects, getting their contacts and volume marketing, we're going to challenge you to do a lot of it in a short period because it's going to totally level up your biz. So yeah, it is a different class.
I know we've got a couple questions past when we said we were going to stop, but I really think we should answer this one.
Yes. Okay. We'll make this the final answer.
All right. Lynn said, what's the deadline for taking advantage of this offer?
So the Den is open for a week, and this offer on Pitching 101 is also in the same week. I think we're done like a week from today, and the 15th, I think. And we, reserve the right to offer Pitching 101 as we get closer to class. But if we think we're full, we may be done. The price may go up. If you want it at $197, you'd want to grab it in the next few days. And the Den is usually only open, every few months. So this is kind of your last chance to join the Den in this coming few days to lock and load yourself for success in 2022, because it'll be well into 2022 before we reopen again. And, invest, give yourself a Christmas present is what I always like to say at this time of year. Think about if you could invest a little in your career right now, and next year be able to buy everyone, all your loved ones, twice as expensive gifts as you're able to buy them now, what that would feel like. This is a chance to invest a little and really leverage it into a much better income and learning. I'll just end with a chat I just saw in my coaching thread the other day, and someone asked, what is your biggest regret in your freelance writing career? And all these people posted like, I should have joined the Den in 2011 instead of 2016. I should have joined the Den in 2014 instead of 2020. Just why are you putting off taking a shortcut to success? That's what the Den is. It's a massive shortcut to the lifestyle you want. Stop trying to figure out, am I bidding too high or too low? Are these the wrong clients? Stop trying to figure this all out on your own and get in a pool of 1,500 working writers with a pro moderator team of working writers who can help you get feedback from pro editors. And you're going to avoid scams and, just stop wasting time doing this and get to finding the clients that will give you the lifestyle you want here. So that's why we're here. That's why the Den exists. It's just that shortcut through the woods, skip all the making mistakes, getting scammed, doing samples for people who are never going to help you. All of that, skip it and be in the Den. So that's what it's about. Thanks, Angie. I'm sorry your camera died, but we love you anyway. And thank you so much for organizing the questions. And more questions, help@freelancewritersden.com. You see the links on the screen to join as just a regular Den member, or to join us and get the pitch reviews and the pitch learning in Pitching 101. That's freelancewritersden.com, freelancewritersden.com/pitching101 for writers. See you there. Send us questions if you've got them.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.